Hey, what's going on?
Hey, I thought that was your answering machine for a second.
No, I just opened it. There's no one there that's on the phone. You want to take it? Come on, couple.
I can't understand hardly anything you're saying.
Do what?
I can't understand hardly a word you're saying.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
All right. Yeah, I was talking to the dog. Talking to the dog.
I'm having a pretty rough time.
That sucks. What's up, man?
Well, I'm currently in California. I had to leave the state of Colorado to protect myself from police officers.
Really? You're in Cali?
Yeah.
Right on, where?
About 50 miles from LA, I think.
Oh, shit. Right on, dude.
Yeah.
How you digging that?
I hate it. I don't get to see anybody I love and care about. I don't really have anybody here who has the time to even talk to me. And if they do have time to talk, it's usually time for them to talk or time for somebody else to talk. Basically, I just keep my mouth shut most of the time, hoping I'll get to talk to somebody who gives a shit, but I don't get to see anybody in person, you know?
Yeah, I feel you feeling, man.
What they did.
Been the same for me since I've been home.
Yeah? How you liking it? You hating it?
Yeah, I'm just deleting the Schwinn. Real simple.
Yeah.
Don't think so. Don't want to turn me down and whatever. Moving forward, man. Moving forward, you know?
Yeah, I wish I was allowed to do that.
I'm finding I just got to peel off those that have been holding me back. That's what I've been finding.
Yeah, it'd be nice if I had such an easy fix, you know?
I'm sorry. Hey, let me turn this down a bit. Give me a sec.
Alright?
You know, I'll pause it. All right. Right on.
Like, for me, I needed people to come forward back in January, and really, nobody would. And after that, I did everything I could to try to get somebody to go in with me to the police station so they couldn't pull the bullshit that they pulled, but they pulled it anyway.
Really?
Yeah.
What'd they do?
They lied to me. You know, the whole entrapment thing. They lie to you.
Yeah.
They say they'll do one thing and then they do another, and they only do that if you're homeless and don't have any witnesses because nobody cares.
Yep. I know it, bro. I know it. I just spent the last 7 months fighting Boulder County and Larimer County.
See, I'm fighting with Larimer County because they sent me from Boulder County to Larimer County.
Wow.
Yeah. And then they prevented me from going to court, and then they charged me with crimes because I didn't get to go to court. They had 2 other court dates without me, which is illegal as fuck, but they did it anyway. It prevented me from going to court. The people who were actually perpetrating the crimes all got away with it.
Yeah, I feel that keenly.
Natalie's family are a bunch of pieces of shit. Do what?
No, I said, say again?
I said Natalie's family are a bunch of pieces of shit. I wanted to believe them, but damn, they're all pieces of shit. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, I've been seeing a bit of that online.
I need help killing myself or I need help getting an honest day in court, and I haven't gotten either. Nobody seems to understand that. I can't do all of this by myself. I asked people if they can go back and take a look at their screenshots or take a look at our messenger, and they're like, oh, dude, I don't have time. So then I spend all of my time looking up stuff that they could easily do. I mean, they're not looking up 40 or 50 different people. I have over 300 people on a list. And I gotta look up all this shit. I don't have any space on my computer, and I keep getting treated like shit. People who have people in their corner tell me, oh, dude, I'm in your corner. No, the fuck you're not. You're not here. You know? Or they're telling me, dude, I had to do it all myself. And I'm like, you haven't been single since I met you. You know?
Right.
So I need help getting an honest day in court, or I need somebody to help me kill myself. And, people keep saying, oh, Sean, don't say shit like that. Well, fuck, help me out then, Jesus fucking Christ.
What? I hate to tell you, brother, this is Colorado. There's no honest courts here.
I know. There's no honest courts anywhere.
I had to prove that the people that assaulted me, that Tammy put up to assaulting me with the firearm, were lying. And I had to prove the cops were lying, and I did so. But I feel you. There's no fair court. It's all a sham.
Well, I saved evidence that they lied.
Do what?
I saved evidence that they lied. The problem is getting somebody to listen to it.
Yeah, I feel that keenly. And that's what I've been thinking, is maybe going to the news with it, but it's the same thing. No one gives a shit.
Right. Dude, I tried to go to the news. They don't fucking give a shit. They don't. Alright, so because I got a protection order against me, that automatically makes me wrong. Never mind the fact that I couldn't afford to go. And never mind the fact that the other two that they put on me, they prevented me from going to. Like, Jesus fuck. And Boulder County, Larimer County, and Arapahoe County worked together to make that happen. They worked together with the Bollingers to make that happen. Like, I don't want to live anymore. I don't. I mean, I need people to come forward to write their stories and to explain, like Officer Lolatai, for example. He's assaulted multiple people. He actually got his gun and his taser taken away. But instead, I get treated like shit for asking for help. I get typed pretty words every 8 goddamn months by people who want to go out of their way to take anything that I type back at them as fucking insults.
I feel you, and that's part of it. It's part of it why I've been reluctant to write anything up, because frankly, every time I do anything for anyone lately, like Coyote, I get my whole life torn apart for it. And I'm afraid it'll fall into Tammy's hands, and they'll try to use that against me in court.
Yeah.
It's a closed case now, so it's not really all that pressing now. Kind of had him by the balls. So I guess I really can write it up. But the truth of the matter is, brother, the police reports don't show the truth of it. They lost all the evidence, all the exculpatory evidence that proved my innocence. So they entered none of that onto the record.
See, they did the same thing to me. They didn't enter any of that onto the record. They didn't write down what I said. They wrote down a biased opinion of what basically everything meant to them. And
what they do.
yeah. Like, they played like the Bollingers were the victims after everything they put through. They even lied and claimed that I threatened to kill the Bollingers, which I didn't. But with all my friends being threatened, harassed, and, having people threaten to kill my friends, I had to do something. I did threaten to kill the people who threatened to kill me. I don't see an issue with that. Especially since I tried to go to the police multiple times about it, and they refused to take a look. All this goddamn jurisdiction bullshit. I'm being assaulted in multiple counties because officers know that I was arrested for assaulting an officer. And I shouldn't have been arrested for assaulting an officer because I didn't assault them. They arrested me and assaulted me, and they got injured, or not even injured, scratched, in the process of assaulting me. And then they claim that I tried to bite them. Meanwhile, people keep telling me, dude, you need to sue. I'm like, fuck, I can't even go to fucking court without getting threatened, harassed, or assaulted by the goddamn cops.
I feel you, man.
They lock me up, separate me from the evidence, prevent me from taking a look at it. My public pretenders won't take a look at it.
Heard that. They threaten the public pretenders are jokes. All of them are jokes. They tried sending me to prison for being feloniously assaulted with a firearm. They pulled a gun on me. Sammy set it up. And I went to jail, the only one pouring blood out my face. I never pointed back. I didn't lift a finger. And there's witnesses who attested it. The 911 caller. But just the same, they pressed their charges on me for 7 months because she's the victim. She was never even technically involved. It was her little buddy. So I feel you. I know how Colorado does, dude. They're shady motherfuckers. They're crooked. I've been putting that all over the airwaves lately because they're shady.
Yeah, me too. I could really use some help.
The family's been acting like pigs. Called the cops on me, had me fucking beat down and arrested. And then hide behind it when I fucking retaliate back the only legal way I can. I feel you, brother. I do. but unfortunately, I don't know what can be done about it. Like,
You can write down your statement. Write down the stuff that they should have put down in that report and didn't, because that all goes to a class action on how they treat us out there.
well, I did get the judges under review that had my case. I got a letter from the Judicial Review Board stating regarding how everything played out in your court case. We understand you were quite discontented with the actions of this judge, and this judge is under investigation. Please fill out this report.
Lucky bastard, they did exactly the opposite for me. They just kept on transferring me out of jurisdiction. They knew that I wasn't going to be allowed out, and they kept telling me, well, you can make a report when you get out. Well, I'm never getting out. If it weren't for Miss Peaches, I'd still be in there. What?
They did me the same way for 8 years of the Tammy shit. Oh, you can file that from California, then I get there. Oh, we can't help. We can't give you any legal information by phone. But to come in person, why I drove 1,000 miles back, and then they gave me the same bullshit runaround. So I know what you mean. It's really about protecting their ass. Because they know they're the ones breaking the law. And that's really what it comes down to.
Yeah. And they can get away with it because I don't have the money for a civil lawyer.
Right.
Yeah, A-Bear was telling me, dude, your case is shut and dry, Sean. You should have a lawyer by now. If I were you, I'd be on the phone. I'm like, dude, where have you been for the last goddamn year?
I had Boulder County so by the balls, brother. I had them slam dunk probably 1,000 different ways. They violated every one of my rights, including denying me medical care, threw me straight into the hole. They denied me every one of my rights in this last case. I had them so tightly by the balls. I had lawyers in 2 counties losing sleep over me. Guarantee it, dude. I put the smack on those people.
Well, they definitely violated my rights as well, so I'm catching you on that one.
They were trying to throw me in prison for being feloniously assaulted with a gun. Prison, not jail. 6 to 7 years in prison for having a gun pulled on me.
Yeah, they tried pulling a lot of shit on me that was similar to that. Like, I've been harassed and threatened and assaulted by the Bollingers and their cronies for the last 2 years, and the police refused to take a report, and then they want to pretend like I'm the one who's stalking them. Like, Jesus, fuck.
Yep, that sounds right familiar, because I didn't just have a gun pulled on me. She just pulled me in the face with it. Punched me in the face with the barrel of a loaded 9mm. And I'm the one that went to jail, brother.
That's fucked.
But luckily the 911 caller said, hey, I'm a witness. He was my witness. He's like, he never lifted a finger, which is what I said out the gate. Never lifted a finger. I had Boulder County so tightly by the balls, there aren't words. But in the end, I had to play it out. I told him what I would accept in the end of it, just to be done with it. And here's what I told my lawyer. I will lose a trial because there's no fair trial here, but I will own you people at appeal. And he was like, you're not wrong, dude. I was like, so how you motherfuckers want to play it?
See, that's the issue I'm having with the lawyers, is that all of them, they tell me, hey, Sean, you're right. You are completely right in everything that you're saying. The problem is that the law doesn't work, like you're saying. So, really, your only choice here is to take a plea deal because the judge isn't going to let you fire me.
Yeah, I fired him.
Yeah, I fired my lawyer in court, and they wouldn't let me. So I had the very next court date was on my birthday. I pled out.
I didn't give him a choice, brother. The Tammy case, I fired the public defender's office for malnegligence on the record, and they couldn't argue with it because our lawyer stood up to the man that she was representing before me, and there was already a deal worth 18 months Comcor, and my lawyer and his stood up and was like, no, 3 years prison. He needs to go to prison. The judge was like, wait, what? You can't do that. You're here to defend that man. And you just threw him under the bus. I stood up right after that and said, yeah, you're fired. They said, oh, Mr. Cat, that takes some time, and you'll have to file the proper. Yeah, I filed that last week. That being said, after what I just saw here in court, lady, you're fired. She stormed out and left 6 other guys sitting there with no counsel. Because of that, it's a conflict of interest. They can never defend me again. Ever. I've already proven them incompetent on the record, brother. Proven it on the record. They can never defend me in court again. They pulled themselves from the case because Coyote, the piece of shit, deep rat fuck cop that stole my truck and wrecked it, has the same public defender as I did. So he stepped off my case because I told him to no. Tried to get me to plea. I said, oh, there's photographs. I remember the photographs. You mean my bloodied hand? It's my blood, dickhead. What else you got? Next, about the firearm that was pulled. About what? No, and that's what it is. I had to walk on eggshells for 7 months with these cocksuckers, didn't I, Brenda? Nobody shot.
Were you stuck in jail the whole time?
Huh?
Were you stuck in jail the whole time?
No, I bonded out.
Lucky bastard. Peaches bonded me out, but by that point I'd already been locked up for 3 months. They'd prevented me from going to 4 court dates. Well, 5 court dates, but one of them was in chapel where they dropped the charges. They do that frequently. The cops do something wrong, and then they charge you with a crime, and then they take you out of county, and then, because you use what they did to you to fight them in the other county because of what happened, well now, because they dropped charges, I can't use that stuff in the other county because they didn't collect any evidence.
Well, maybe. Actually, there's still got to be some record of it. I could probably help you with the legal aspects of this. I'm good with law, brother. I can help you with that. I'm real good with helping you. I can help you with that. Brenda, did I not smack down Boulder County and Larimer County single-handedly? Did I not do this? And it was skating on eggshells, brother. But in the end, I told them what I would accept, and that's what I got. Unsupervised probation for 1 year and 5 days county time served.
Well, for me, there was a conflict of interest both with the judge and with my public pretender, and as a result, I shouldn't have been allowed to plead out the way that I did. I pled guilty to a crime that I actually committed, but the fact is that I had to commit that crime to defend myself.
Gotcha. Here's what you do. Did you already plea out, or are you still going to court?
I already pled out.
Okay.
I pled out in exchange for something that I didn't get. That's because my public pretender lied out her ass at me. Not only that, the judge wouldn't allow me to fire my lawyer.
They usually won't. It's pretty difficult to fire a public defender.
That's the problem. A public pretender not doing their job does not belong in a courtroom. If they're not willing to actually defend you,
they don't do their job, brother. We call them public pretenders for a reason, because most of them really just want to be district attorney. And they go through the motions and on the low end and work their way up, which includes throwing people under the bus, because that's really what they want to do is prosecute.
Yep.
Had this talk with several of the lawyers there. I shut down their subordinate, and then when he came in with the lawyer, I shot his ass down too. After that, I had an ADC the next week. Remember? And he actually got it done for me, but it was the same thing. He didn't believe me at first either, and the more evidence I showed him, the more he was like, fuck, this is cut and dry.
See, I couldn't get him to even look at it. None of my lawyers looked at... I had a whole bag full of evidence. None of the lawyers would look at it. None of the cops would look at it. I tried forcing the FBI to take a look at it by lighting Ken and Leah's truck on fire.
Well, you don't need to go to such extremes, brother, to get the FBI to look into this. They have a branch in the FBI that's there to look after local law enforcement being constitutionally proper.
I don't think you're understanding how many times I called the FBI for that specific reason. I literally had to break the law to get them to take a look. And they still didn't take a look.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I hate to say, this is what I told my lawyer when he did the same thing. He tried to tell me, oh, well, the hospital records, this is what the cops say. I say, bullshit. And they're fabricated. He's like, you're really going to make us do that? My answer was this. The blue wall extends beyond many professions, it seems, brother. And he just chuckled and was like, yeah, I guess you're right. And I believe you. And that's what I'm telling you right here, brother. It's still the blue wall. You know what I mean? It was doctors doing it, but the FBI is going to look after Colorado State cops.
Yeah, they're going to look after their system, and their system preys on the poor, and that's what I speak out about.
That's right, and you're not wrong, brother, and yes, I know.
Like, the other thing is, evidence on my Facebook is being destroyed. I shouldn't have had to use my Facebook in that way. I only used my Facebook in that way because police refused to do their jobs. So now evidence is being destroyed because they still won't do their jobs.
That's what I've been getting to, dude. That's why I've just been eradicating the stupid out of my life lately. I kind of poked at it a bit ago, a couple days ago, hoping for a reaction, and I got one. It was real simple. Who to delete? To start.
Yeah.
I want, and then I want that crazy person out of my life, and I'm working on it.
Well, that night I got out of jail and went over there to see you. Like, you're a lot easier to get along with when you're sober. That was a really rough night for me.
Me too. And I don't think it was really even so much that, but we both have a hard time accepting we're both kind of dealing with the same shit, and it's hard to look at it the same because it's not the exact same. And I know you've been through a hell of a lot more this year that I can't even imagine. Really.
I don't know. I was when I was balled up on the floor, covering up, begging you to stop. I really needed you to at that point, and it was. I didn't have anywhere else to go. I mean, we were miles out of town, and you know, if I was to walk into town, the chances of me getting harassed by the police were pretty well up there, and like
Well,
I was in a bad way, dude. You know,
so
and
was
it's
I want you to understand that too. I was having the same exact head trip as you, but you were telling me I'm the bad guy because I wouldn't listen while trying to explain it. I'm there with you. That's all it was.
well, mostly by the time you had that 15th or 16th shot of Jameson in you, it was just Tammy this and Tammy that, and Tammy's a fucking cunt. And fuck you, dude. Listen to me. I'm talking about Tammy. And like the thing that really got me was like the 8th or 9th time that you told me I should just crawl up on the top, and I explained to you that I couldn't, and you just went off on the "you're making excuses" thing. Like I couldn't handle that, dude. But I also understand that, you know, that's why I don't drink, is because I get the same way when I drink.
It has nothing to do with that. I'm just tired of everyone telling me what I should think, just like you, brother. What I should be, how I should react, how I should respond, and to what, and exactly how. It was the same. It was the same principle. It was the same thing that you were. I was trying to be there for you, and you're saying everyone does this to you, but you were doing it to me in my own home.
It was a matter of you and me having a miscommunication at first, but that miscommunication was amplified by your alcohol consumption. And I'm not do what?
I won't argue with that. I'm an emotional person, brother. You know that. I wear mine on my sleeves. You're right.
I don't know. The whole thing with that is once it got physical, I really needed to leave there, and I couldn't because I had nowhere to go. But
There was no
before that
that
there
was
was
never got physical.
no, it did when we were out in the vehicle. I mean, you probably shoved me about 5 or 6 times out there, but like in the trailer was when I was really worried about you getting physical, because I'm like, all right, if he gets physical, there's no way for me to get out of the trailer. But instead, like, you just were screaming, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But like, you know, I don't know, you'd tell me I needed to leave, and then as I'm leaving, you'd tell me I need to come back, and then I'd come back, and then you'd tell me I needed to leave, and I was like, oh my god, dude, I just need internet access, you know? I mean, the sooner I was able to get on that stuff, the better. But I wasn't able to get that stuff done. Most of that stuff I still haven't been able to do.
And that I gotta say that's what's been really getting me lately. I think everyone doesn't know me for shit. That's why I've been cutting them all out of my life. Everyone's so afraid of me getting physical. I'm the one being assaulted. I'm the one being threatened. I haven't even defended myself.
Exactly.
I step up and speak for myself. Everyone's worried about me getting physical. Wow. That's, wow. And that's what I've been dealing with since I've been back.
Well, as far as like actual straight up assaults go, you know, I don't consider shoving somebody an assault. I don't. So I mean, when I say getting physical, that's different than a straight up assault. But at the same time, like, you know, as soon as that alcohol got in there, it was a difficult thing for me to deal with you. Before that, we did pretty all right. But, you know, after that, like I really I needed to go somewhere safe, and from what the Boulder police had done to me, it made me so I'm stuck in an area where people who had victimized me previously get to continue to do so.
I feel you keenly. Why do you think I don't deal with any of those cocksuckers anymore? They tore my family, they claim. Tore my life apart for that bitch's lies, and I should just lay down and take it? No, I'll just eradicate these stupid fucks. Maybe they forgot all the years I looked out for them. Took all them under wing when they first hit the block. How quickly people fucking forget, and if it's like that, I don't care. Just skin up my balls, brother. Maybe that's what you need to get through your head. Like, in my opinion, and it's just opinion, I think you think way too much of what other people think of you, and only you can make your own happiness, brother.
That's the thing,
No one
is
else has anything to do with that.
For me, it's not being able to see my friends, not being able to see my family, having everything taken from me repeatedly. You know, I can't handle that. I don't have people in my life that I get.
I should be moving into my new house right now. Okay?
Yeah.
I put my ass up for that. And instead, no, bro, I'm freezing my ass still. And it's not right, bro. I busted my ass. People judge, but they don't know what I sacrificed to get where I was. And they're quick to tear down what they don't know.
And
I'm happy nothing because she got knocked up by some chump.
I'm having that same issues, except I've only had sex once. That was with Bree. So I mean, I know I don't have any kids, but I mean the sheer quantity of bullshit that I've gone through, and people telling me they're gonna do this and they're gonna do that, and then when it all comes down to it, I'm like, shit, I wasted my time and resources to come down here because you made promises and then you didn't fulfill them. And like all these people that are doing that, I'm like, you know, I'm not trying to be a dick here, but this is all time sensitive, and you said that you would do something, and I paid you to do that something, and here I am 6 months down the road going, oh my god, dude, what the fuck?
Who did that? That's fucked up.
A lot of people.
Wow.
I do want
to help, brother, but I'm still recovering for the damage done to me this year, and it's going to be a while. But I want to help, but I don't know what I can do besides lend an ear. You know what I mean?
Well, I need people to write their stories down. I need to write down their interaction with me down.
I've already put it all on the record anyway, for the most part.
Well, I'm saying that I need it for my court date.
No, I'm just thinking all the way around. Like I said, I don't trust. And once it's on the record, it's public record. That's the other thing. But that's okay. It already is. And if that one, I still have the evidence on my phone.
Well, that's the thing, is that in order for me to have it, like, this is a bunch of stuff that I have to look up, and I have to research, and I have to try to find, and, like, I don't have the time. I literally don't. There is too much for me to do. So, I mean, getting statements from people and character references, like, you could type me one of those up, tell a few true stories about me, you know?
I've got plenty of those for you, man. You're a good guy.
Well, see, the world doesn't get to hear that. And as far as me caring about other people's opinions, I'm being assaulted over those opinions, and I can't see my loved ones.
Me too, brother. It was my blood on the pavement because I don't belong in violence. I didn't even defend myself. Not that I couldn't. I chose not to. Of course, something told me if I would have been shot dead by police seconds later, too.
Yeah, I can believe that. They tried pretending that I was wanting to suicide by cop. I'm like, you guys are out of your goddamn minds. I've been trying to get the cops to take a report. If I was going to suicide...
set me up to be murdered by police. She did that. And she's gotten away with it. Not anymore, because now the DA's aware of what the bitch pulled, but the circle of my life began. She'll do years. I promise.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about Natalie's family. I mean, these people are child molesters and drug dealers and fucking rapists. And, you know, I'm getting blamed for the things that they did. I'm like, you know what? I didn't make Natalie kill herself. I didn't make her life suck so bad that she wanted to fucking end it. Her and her family made my life so much that I wanted mine to end.
I saw, brother. I saw. Like I said, I can't imagine what you've been through this last year, dude. I can't.
Well, there's got to be a way to make it stop. You know, I mean, making my own happiness is all fine and dandy, but I don't get to see any of my loved ones, and that kills me more than anything. You know, I mean,
Oh, dude, I had to move out of state to pay child support for a kid that ain't mine and be alienated from my real child.
yep.
Dude, I know what you mean. I do.
But you got somebody with you.
That's true. I have the DJ with me.
For me, it's always been me alone. All of my traveling is alone, and that's something that's difficult to explain to people too. Like, I don't mean to have panic attacks. I don't mean to, have issues with driving when it's just me though. Like on a long trip, I hate it. I can't handle it.
I can see that.
Now I don't
I
have my car anymore.
panic attacks till this year, brother.
Do what?
And I said I never used to get panic attacks till this year. Tammy used to get them real bad, and I never really understood them. I understood it to a point, but I didn't really get it because I never had one myself until I had one. And it's nothing nice. I know what you mean. I mean, I don't know if it's the same exact kind of panic attack. I reckon there's different types.
Well, mine are pretty painful.
Yeah.
I mean, I try explaining to people that it is physically painful for me, but a lot of people don't get that. Like, Natalie didn't understand how I could have a panic attack for as long as I did and have it nonstop. Like, right now, I'm having a panic attack because I'm not being left alone. I still have all this crap being held over my head for having to defend myself, you know?
But
And I know you get that.
I didn't even defend myself. Yeah.
Well, I don't get to defend myself either. Do what?
I sure got. I didn't even lift a finger. The only witness said. But I'm still the one that got their life torn down. My car wrecked. My truck stolen and destroyed and wrecked. I'm at 10 grand for that. So much for a house. It won't stop me. It'll slow me down a little bit. But they do that much time. I hate to break their balls. They're not. They don't have a part of my life. And I think instead, that people like that need to fucking project their shit and their shit decisions on everyone else. And that's what I'm seeing done to you too, man.
Well, I started using the word cunt. I never used to like that word. I still don't like it, but people don't care if you're nice, they just walk over you. If you're a dick, you at least have some chance of somebody listening.
That's true. I was going over this with my friends here recently. I recently realized that I was never respected, but not respected. And I don't want to be respected for being a dick. I want to be respected for being the good man that I am. And those that can't actually, it's real simple to me anymore, man. It's you know.
Yeah. I can't deal with it. I can't handle it. I mean, being a good person was who I was. It's still who I am.
Who you are.
And I tried everything that I could to go through the proper channels. First, I went to the horse's mouth, and I tried to get them to call off the dogs. Then I went to the police, and the police wouldn't do anything about it. They told me I needed to man up and told me they had real police work to do. Well, now she's fucking dead. So fuck their real goddamn police work. Them not doing their fucking jobs was bullshit.
Yeah.
So, like, for me, it was officers in multiple counties, and they worked together with the Bollingers. I mean, they literally conspired with the Bollingers to prevent me from having an honest day in court, or even getting to go to court.
They tried to do that to me too, and I made it work. But you're right. I wasn't by myself. I had help.
Yeah,
Right.
I couldn't even get anybody to bond me out with my own money.
I had a hard time with that too.
Miss Peaches came through for me.
Like, oh, blah, blah, but Dad came to get me. Twice. Actually. That was set up a thing. This month in Loveland. That's how that shit played out.
God, I am
But
trying to
if
smoke
look at it
cigarette
the way
butts.
they want, fuck them. Yeah, I'll write up what happened if that's what you want. I mean,
Yes, sir. Anything that I can use to show what kind of people the border police and the courts are? Do what?
I do ask if it's this case alone.
You mean like, I don't get what you mean.
I'd rather my ex or any people associated with her put their hands on it.
Oh yeah, they don't get to.
Alright, and I'll do that for you. But on your word that you'll do that for me, I'll write up whatever you need.
On my word, I'm not going to give it to Tammy or any of her buddies.
All
The
right?
fact is, I need it for court. I don't need it for public play.
When do you need it by?
As soon as possible. Right now, I'm out of Colorado on warrants, but I plan on going back and facing those warrants and fighting those son of a bitches. But I need to have people who can show up in court.
I will stand for you in court, brother. I already proved I did me the same dirty. I will stand for you in court.
All right, good. I'm going to try to get somebody who can coordinate for me while I'm in jail, because that's what's going to happen. I won't be able to call you guys. I won't be able to get a hold of you. I won't have money on my books or money on my phone, so it'll basically be,
Coming back, maybe I can arrange something for that too.
yes, sir. I'll let you know.
Give me a week on getting that written up. I got a lot going on right now myself, but I'll see what I can get written up for you. If you lie, and she's sending the police report to you file because it's lies. Wouldn't hurt to send that too, and then write up what really happened. That's probably the best thing I can do, actually.
You're right.
And then get you and JJ to write up statements so it's not just my lying ass, so they want to call it I'm a felon. Because if they're lying asses, then I'll have you and JJ because you're my witnesses too and you have no records.
Well, I have quite a record now.
Hold accountable to fucking people.
The record that I acquired over the last year is pretty extensive. They put me through a lot of hell and a lot of courts and a lot of jurisdictions. I had to go to 8 different court dates just for Arapahoe County, in addition to the court date that they prevented me from going to in Arapahoe County. And I missed 5 court dates altogether because of Arapahoe County. And then,
Brother, they thought you were the killer and they were just trying to put you in a cage so you couldn't sleep.
yeah, and then after that, they had to cover their own asses.
That's right. But at this point, those charges are up and I will stand for you and I will attest to the behavior of those in court.
Well, they already dropped the charges for the assault, and they already found the guy who killed her. The problem is that I need people to testify as to how the police treat homeless people in the state of Colorado and how homeless males get treated. Like, a woman's word is law. There literally is no law. What the law says doesn't matter if a woman says something else.
On lies.
Do what?
That's right. I agree. They were ready to throw me in. They wouldn't tell me they were going to throw me in prison, but I saw what they were trying to do. Etched into the statute through a clean. That the cop would have come in and said, same like you, brother, I skinned my knee. Now you're looking at felons. Now you're looking at real time at your trial. Once we fucking... It's disgusting. I know, brother. I know. I'll give you more detail face to face. I know.
All right. Well, I'm trying to work with... I'm trying to get a hold of Ogre because he had some stuff going on too. If you could get a hold of him and try to get him involved, that would be much appreciated.
You know someone else I might want to talk to that was looking at this a while back, but now he's got a baby and might not want to deal with it?
Who?
Monkey.
Monkey? Yeah, I'm trying to coordinate. I've been trying to. Basically, all they do is type stuff at me, but I'll give him my phone number and tell him to call me.
Let me hit him up, dude. We've all been done dirty and we've all discussed this, and I'm with you. It's time to do something about it.
Well, they've stolen...
I'll hit a Monkey, dude.
Alright, they've stolen a lot of my friends' kids, too. Like, they forced my friends into homelessness. My friends busted their ass to get unhomeless, especially when they found out they had kids coming. They got themselves unhomeless, and the cops went out of their way to make it impossible for them to jump through all of the hoops on their wages and their time in order to even keep their kids.
Yep, what they do. Slavery, brother, that's all it is. It's sanctioned slavery. The most unfree nation on the planet. The people are too sheeple to see it.
Well, I rescued Desiree from a meth house in Cheyenne twice last year.
How's that doing?
She wasn't doing too good. She was addicted to methamphetamines. She stole everything in my place that was worth value, and then a lot of people are like, "Fuck that bitch," and I'm like, "No, no, that's not how it is. People
Dead?
are more important
Dead?
than things." Do what?
Dead did that?
Yeah, it was the last thing I expected out of her.
Damn, dude. That sucks.
Well, the other thing is, where she was at, I understand why she took my shit. You know, I mean, her head mentally was in a really fucked up place. The dude that she was staying with was really a fucked up person. And after she left my place and stole my stuff, she ended up getting stabbed over on the East Coast.
Yeah, I know that. Out in Missouri. Out where Jim died, actually, out near there.
Damn.
Man, Jim was killed by the squad car outside St. Louis, I think.
Yep. I remember
Man,
that. I remember that.
I always remember that. That was my brother. One of the few people that was decent to me after the Tammy shit.
Well, I hope I wasn't too much of a piece of shit to you after the Tammy shit.
Nah, brother, you've been alright. You're entitled to your thoughts and opinions too. You're good.
I'm still thankful David and Laura helped me get that trailer down to you. Like, that was such a fucking shit show. And that's the thing. People keep... Do what?
You know how fucked it would have been if it weren't for you? You saved our lives in California, brother. We were in the murder capital of the country. In a real bad way. And the $100 you fucking sent us actually saved our lives.
Well, somebody's got to pretend to be the good guy, even if it's just me. But that's the thing about medications. They keep trying to put medications on me. And that whole issue with that trailer, that was all because Jason was trying on new medications that they had him on for his panic attacks. Like, when he made that agreement, he was out of his fucking mind. I'm glad that got you safe. I'm glad it... You know, when Natalie disappeared, I tried to give her every penny I had to get her somewhere safe.
You put us safe, brother. You made sure we were able to get our jobs at Humboldt House, and that $100 floated us to our paychecks. After that, everything fell into place.
That's good. That's very good. That's what happens when you got people that work together with you.
Yeah.
You know, I've had...
You're not alone. You're not alone.
I've had a lot of people who work together with me just long enough to get what they wanted, and then what I worked for, the thing that I busted my ass for, my end of the agreement that I was supposed to get. Once they get what they want, they don't keep their end of the bargain. They say, "Oh, well, this is what I'm going to give you, so you're going to have to call it good enough." And I don't have it in me to take that anymore. Like, I gotta... Right?
But I also don't have it in me to go violent or argue with the stupid. I just ignore them. Block them from my lives, eradicate them. I don't need the drama. I don't care what these people think of me anymore. I don't. They used to be family, but family acts like family. And if they can't, then they ain't. And they can step the fuck out.
I care what they think, because really, the things that they're going through and the things that they're stressed out about are the same things I'm stressed out about. And I care about what other people think because they're the ones that are assaulting me. They were painted a bad picture. It sucks. Like, for me, I can't handle being away from my friends and my family for 2 fucking years, you know? Like, when we do get to meet up with each other, everybody's in such a stressful fucking situation where they're in a constant goddamn hurry. And I'm like, you know, this is inhuman.
Life, brother. Fast paced and it moves quickly.
Yeah, especially when you're street folk.
It does anywhere, bro.
You know what? When I had a place, it was pretty easy to keep it. It was... With all this other shit that's going on, it's tough to get into a place, though, to begin with. So, I mean, that's the help that I needed, a project coordinator and somebody to understand that I'm in a shitty situation. I need to be somewhere where I can calm down, and I literally haven't had it. You know, I mean,
I wish I had that to provide you a while back, brother. That was my intent. It's what I had, and I'm sorry shit went sideways that evening. But my intent was genuinely to provide that safe place for you. And I'm working on the spot, and I do genuinely want to help you because you are one of the best fucking people I know, man.
well, it's a lot of pain. I'm trying to make it so that I can go back. Those statements will help, you know.
I'll stand for you. I already tore Boulder County down. They don't want me standing back in their courtroom, dude. I got you, homie. I got you. Those people are horrified of me. SCA does not like me. I'm the bane of that motherfucker's existence. Okay? There were still grills when I finally pulled my plea out, and it was a week before trial. There's still a look of relief on their faces. I tell you what, it was glorious. Now, I got you. I do know law. I'm quite proficient and can help you on that aspect. And I'd be honored to do so.
Absolutely. You know, right before Natalie died, I was over at Miss Peach's house. We were gonna get a GoFundMe started to get some land for a castle because Ken and Leah stole all my money. And we didn't get to do that because Natalie died. We were also going to try to get a lawyer to go after Natalie and Maddie for their slander and the assaults against me. And I was going to try to get a lawyer to go after Ken and Leah for the money they took. And I wanted to settle it out of court, but I needed to get a lawyer just to even talk to them because they assaulted me for even trying to talk to them. That's the reason I left there.
How much are we talking? What they take?
$1,200 plus $600 for rent.
So $1,800.
$1,800. That's right.
All right.
That,
I'm very disappointed in Lena for that.
I'm disappointed in them too. Like, you know, they used Natalie's death as an excuse for what they did.
I already see clearly what they did, brother. I know. And I'm really disappointed in that.
You know the difference between them and me? When they stole my money, they wouldn't come forward. They wouldn't give me my money back. But when I lit their truck on fire, I admitted to it. They were going to try to put some poor random schmuck who was driving a white truck in jail for it. I'm like, no. You don't get to lock other people up for the things I did. I'm sorry for interrupting you. Go ahead. I usually make my phone calls just long enough until I have to go pee, but I got a tiny bladder, so I have to go pee.
Alright, well, feel free to hit me back, man.
I'm not going to hit you. I like you.
Well, in the figurative, of course.
Yes, sir. I'll make sure I call you back, and I'm not going to say Happy New Year because there's no guarantees, but welcome to the new world, bud.
Yep, and you know what? I recant that with it is going to be a new year because I dictate my own.
Yes, sir.
But thank you for that thought, brother. Yeah, call me back.
All right, you be safe. Love you, Fuzzy.
And man, my number. Feel free anytime you need to talk, and you can hit me up.
I certainly will. It might be pretty often here shortly. We'll see. Be safe.
All right. Anytime, brother.
Bye.